Now we have the speaker, Dr. K. Rajesh. He'll be speaking on thrombolysis in acute stroke, tenecteplase versus alteplase. For this session, I would like to invite Dr. Asutosh Prasad sir and Dr. Sirisha madam to chair the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sainilima. We welcome Dr. Rajesh, and he is the only live presenter in this entire two-day conference. The rest of all were in virtual mode. He is the only one presenting on stage. So he is going to discuss the pros and cons and debate between alteplase and tenecteplase in stroke thrombolysis. Dr. Sirisha will introduce Dr. Rajesh. Dr. Sirisha.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's a privilege to have Rajesh sir to be talking on acute thrombolysis, the debate between alteplase and tenecteplase. Dr. Rajesh was my senior in NIMS and he had exceptional interest in stroke and he was very much approachable to simplify all the complicated stroke guidelines. So over to Dr. Rajesh.
Good afternoon, and first of all, I thank Dr. Raju sir for providing me opportunity, and thank you, Sirisha. And today we'll discuss about thrombolysis in acute stroke, alteplase versus tenecteplase. The treatment of acute ischemic stroke is mainly divided into medical support, IV thrombolysis, endovascular techniques, antithrombotic treatment, neuroprotection, and neurorehabilitation. Out of these, today we'll discuss about IV thrombolysis. The stroke consists of ischemic core, which is the brain tissue that is destined to die, is surrounded by penumbra, which is a salvageable brain area. The reperfusion offers the potential to reduce the extent of ischemic injury. The types of thrombolytic agents which are which are first generation, which are urokinase and streptokinase, which are failure in stroke thrombolysis, followed by a second generation thrombolytic agent, which is alteplase, followed by third generation thrombolytic agent tenecteplase, which are currently approved in stroke thrombolysis. The world before NINDS, there is no effective treatment of stroke, and in after NINDS trial, there is approval of stroke treatment less than 3 hours. After ECAS 3 trial, up to 4.5 hours stroke thrombolysis were approved, in which India is also a part. Despite of this, only 1% of the strokes get thrombolized because of lack of awareness among the public, delayed referral, and financial constraints, and especially in our setting, patients and attendants' attitude also contribute. The importance of thrombolytic therapy in stroke is underestimated. So the numbers needed to treat tells the story. In stroke thrombolysis, NNT is 6. The lower the number, the effective the treatment. The much boasted acute cardiac revascularization, primary PTCA, the number is 18. The cardiac thrombolysis, the number is 33. Compared to stroke thrombolysis, which is very effective, 6. And aspirin for stroke, the number needed is 100. In stroke, time lost is brain lost. What took you a lifetime to learn can be lost in few minutes. With a stroke, time lost is brain lost. So we have to be quicker than stroke. So time is brain. Per hour of stroke, delay in treatment, there is accelerated aging by 3.6 years. So thrombolysis effects are time dependent. The slope is not dependent upon age of the patient or severity of the stroke. Rather, speed is the essence. The the earlier the thrombolysis, the better the results. If you see the first 90 minutes, the odds ratio is 2.55 versus the now NNT is 4 to 5. The first 3 hours it is 1.6 odds ratio and NNT is 9, and it reduces and it's almost equal to the baseline after 4.5 hours. And the earlier the patient is in the hospital, the more time for IV thrombolysis is left. But the sooner the thrombolysis initiated, greater the benefit. The concept of if patient arrives early, the doctor has more time is totally unacceptable. That means if the door to needle time, if you reduce the door to needle time, even though patient the time pre-hospital time, if it is delayed, there will be benefit. So coming to the selection criteria for intravenous thrombolysis, stroke by clinical assessment, persistent deficit of NHS more than 4, and CT scan showing no hemorrhage, and treatment within 4.5 hours. If the thrombolysis increase the chance of favorable outcome. They, in all trials of TPA within 3 hours of symptom onset, NHS score decreasing less than 1, Barthel index, modified ranking scale, Glasgow outcome scale, all show there is favorable outcome at 90 days, a relative increase in the scores. The net benefit of thrombolysis can be told like for every 100 patients, 13 more patients will achieve independence at 3 months. Coming to the safety profile of TPA, ECOS-3 study showed that mortality by time interval after 90 days, there is no increase in mortality in TPA patients. There is no increase in risk of mortality. But there is increased risk of symptomatic ICH for patients treated up to 4.5 hours with TPA. But the overall risk of ICH or mortality rate is low and similar in both patient groups. And SITSMOST study is the study where the patients of thrombolysis outside the trial world, that is real world evidence. The real world evidence also to show that the new thrombolytic centers are similar in efficacy of experienced centers. And experienced centers and real world evidence show that it is safe as effective, and safety is also the 1.7%, 1.6% in the SITSMOST trial compared to 6% of ICH in the NINS trial. The SITS new Asian population, that is non-European Union world, it's also show that it is comparable. Asian population showed significantly better functional outcome than European population, and safety is similar both Asian and European population. RTPA has been consistent in its efficacy and safety across all trials and global registries. If you take NINS trial, ECOS-3 or SITS-MOST, all three trials show efficacy of MRS at 3 months. There is improved outcome, as well as the lesser symptomatic ICH rates observed with ECOS-3 and SITS-MOST compared to NINS trial of 6.4% in the NINS trial compared with 2.4 and 1.7 in the ECOS-3 and SITS-MOST trial. Coming to the tenecteplase, why tenecteplase? Tenecteplase has some pharmacological advantage over alteplase. It has higher fibrin specificity, more thrombolytic potency. It has plasminogen activator inhibitor resistance. It has lesser fibrinogen depletion potential, and platelet-rich thrombus activity is more. So it has more pharmacological advantage. Whether it is clinically relevant or not, we will see. The efficacy of and safety of tenecteplase was tried in 2 trials, that is one open label study, randomized study, 2 doses of tenecteplase, 0.1 and 0.2 mg per kg were compared, and study 2, 0.2 mg compared with NINS trial. The endpoints is primary endpoint of improvement of more than 8 points or a score of 0 or NIHS, that is major neurological improvement at 24 hours, or a secondary outcome of neurological improvement assessed by NIHS score or modified Rankin score on day 7, 30, and 90 days, and safety assessment by symptomatic ICH within 36 hours or asymptomatic ICH after 48 hours after treatment. The results show that MRS at 3 months, 0 to 1, that is, um, it is significant, and also safety symptomatic ICH at 36 hours and mortality at 3 months also lower in TPA group compared to a NINDS trial. After that, evidence that tenecteplase is non-inferior to alteplase for acute ischemic stroke, a meta-analysis of 5 randomized trials. There are almost 1,600 patients were enrolled from 5 trials. Across all trials, for the primary endpoint of crude cumulative rate of disability free, that is MRS 0 to 1 at 3 months, was tenecteplase of 57.9 versus alteplase of 55 point. Similar results for additional efficacy endpoints of functional independence, that is MRS score of 0 to 2. That means tenecteplase is non-inferior to alteplase. These trials are tenecteplase S2B, Australian tenecteplase trial, ATTEST trial, NORTEST trial, and extent 1-year tenecteplase trial. And this is the forest plot showing tenecteplase versus alteplase. The primary outcome of freedom from disability, that is MRS 0 to 1, in all the groups, whether it is 0.1 mg per kg or 0.25 mg per kg or 0.4 mg per kg of tenecteplase is not inferior to alteplase. And this is the secondary and outcome, that is functional independence of MRS 0 to 2. Again, in all the doses, tenecteplase is non-inferior to alteplase. Accumulated clinical data provides strong evidence that tenecteplase is non-inferior to alteplase in the treatment of acute stroke, and these finding provides formal support to the recent guidelines of tenecteplase as an alternative to alteplase. Now, a random trial of tenecteplase versus alteplase for acute ischemia. This is the first head-on-head trial of alteplase and tenecteplase. This is a phase 2b trial. They had 75 patients to receive alteplase in the 0.9 mg per kg or tenecteplase of 0.1 or 0.25 mg per kg in less than 6 hours of stroke. The eligibility criteria are perfusion of at least 20% greater than infarct core and CT perfusion imaging at baseline and associated vessel occlusion on CT angiography. The primary endpoints are the perfusion lesion reperfused at 24 hours on perfusion MRI and the extent of clinical improvement at 24 hours assessed on NIHSS. The results show that the alteplase group and tenecteplase 0.1 mg and 0.25 mg show that two tenecteplase groups had greater perfusion, greater reperfusion and clinical improvement at 24 hours than alteplase groups. There were no significant group differences between intracranial bleeding or other adverse side effects. So the higher the dose of tenecteplase, that is 0.25 mg per kg, was superior to the lower doses, that is 0.1 mg, or alteplase for all efficacy outcomes, including the absence of serious disability at 90 days. And tenecteplase is associated with better reperfusion and clinical outcomes than alteplase in stroke patients selected on basis of CT perfusion imaging. But this trial has limitation that very small sample of 75 patients only, and all patients has CT angio done, which shows perfusion diffusion mismatch and vessel occlusion. So to overcome these limitations, a NORTEST trial, a phase 3 trial was studied in which 1100 patients were analyzed with the tenecteplase of 0.4 mg per kg versus alteplase of 0.9 mg per kg in acute patients. The primary outcome is 90-day MRS score of 0 to 1, which is achieved in 64% of patients with tenecteplase compared to 63% of alteplase. But in this trial, most of the patients are mild. The almost 70 to 80% of the patients have NIHS score of 0 to 7. The intention to treat, that is primary outcome of MRS at 0 to 1 at 3 months and secondary outcome of symptom ICH of 20 to 48 hours or symptomatic ICH at 24 to 48 hours, or major clinical improvement at 24 hours, or death within 3 months, showed tenecteplase and alteplase has similar efficacy and safety profile. So to study the mm, limitation of this study, that is most of the patients are mild strokes, they have analyzed the NOR test results. That is, in the post hoc analysis, moderate stroke patients of the NOR test trial, that is NIH score of 6 to 14, and severe stroke patients of NIH more than 15, the favorable outcome at 90 days, symptomatic ICH, and mortality after 90 days were assessed. So out of all these, mortality rate at 90 days, mortality rate at 90 days, tenecteplase group has 26% compared to alteplase group of 9%, which is statistically significant. That shows in patients with moderate stroke, there were favorable, no difference between favorable outcome, spontaneous ICH or symptomatic ICH, or mortality between tenecteplase alteplase. But patients with severe stroke, there is no difference in outcomes, frequency of ICH or mortality at 7 days, but all cause mortality at 90 days was increased in patients with tenecteplase. So rates of favorable outcome and ICH were similar between treatment groups in moderate and severe stroke, but mortality rate at 90 days increased in patients with severe stroke receiving tenecteplase. So there is another trial, Extend 1A. The results came after from tenecteplase head-on with alteplase in 200 patients from Australia and New Zealand. They have received thrombolysis within 4.5 hours of stroke onset and followed by thrombectomy within 6 hours of onset. In this, a patient should have within 4.5 hours of stroke onset thrombolysis and evidence of large vessel occlusion and CT angiography, and undergo IV thrombolysis and endovascular thrombectomy both. Exclusion criteria is patient with severe pre-existing disability of more than MRS3. They have received tenecteplase of 0.25 mg per kg and alteplase 0.9 mg per kg. The primary outcome of reperfusion of more than 50% of the involved territory, which is 22% in the tenecteplase group compared to 10% of the alteplase group. And the secondary outcomes like functional independent outcome and excellent outcome, early neurological improvement and deaths, and also symptomatic ICH, they were assessed for the secondary endpoints. The modified ranking score shows that patient in the tenecteplase group had a median score of 2 compared with 3 in the alteplase group. And also NIH score at baseline and 72 hours and 24 hours showed tenecteplase is non-inferior to alteplase in restoring perfusion in the territory of proximal cerebral artery occlusion. Overall functional outcome was better with tenecteplase than alteplase, but there was no significant difference in the intracerebral hemorrhage. So in the part 2 of the Extend 1-year trial, they have compared with 0.4 mg of 0.4 mg per kg of tenecteplase compared to 0.25 mg per kg. In these patients more than 18 years received thrombolysis within 4.5 hours of stroke and 150 in each group. Primary outcome of TC 2B by 3 in the score with the normal flow 0, no flow in the 0, 3 normal flow. Secondary outcome of MRS, NIHS, symptomatic ICH, death and angiographic reperfusion were assessed. And these results show that primary efficacy outcome or secondary outcome and safety, the result was there is no difference between 0.4 mg per kg or 0.25 mg per kg. Even MRS scores were not statistically significant between two dose groups. So conclusion is 0.25 mg per kg is just as effective as 0.4 mg per kg with low rate of symptomatic ICH and 34% increase in blood flow following tenecteplase administration in patients who needed for thrombectomy. So in the another trial, 10 volts trial, they have compared alteplase versus tenecteplase, the 0.2 mg per kg of tenecteplase versus 0.9 mg of alteplase. This functional recovery of MRS 0 to 2 at the end of 3 months was primary outcome, and it is analyzed by patient with safety outcome was analyzed by symptomatic ICH within the first 24 hours after administration of thrombolytic agent. And there were no difference in the NIHS on arrival or onset to ER on arrival time, and presence of large vessel occlusion and mechanical thrombectomy between both groups. And the results show that recanalization of large vessel after uh, intravenous thrombolysis, the tenecteplase it is more 16.7 versus arteplase 8.3, and intracranial bleed is less with tenecteplase 7.3 versus 12.3, and symptomatic intracranial cerebral hemorrhage is also 5.5 versus 6.2, and MRS functional outcome 0 to 2 is tenecteplase 74.5 and alteplase 87.7. That is, there is no significant difference in long-term functional recovery in both groups, comparable safety profile in both groups. In the last study, tenecteplase a give and go stroke treatment. The 0.25 mg of tenecteplase used, and safety outcome as assessed in the symptomatic ICH at 24 hours, large vessel occlusion patients, early vessel opening assessed by angiogram, and clinical success was determined by MRS score at 3 months. And this conclusion show that tenecteplase should be considered as an alteplase, especially at sites that need to transfer patients for thrombectomy. Coming to the guidelines, IVA TPA should be administered to all patients within 4.5 hours of last known normal. Center should attempt door to needle time less than 60 minutes, and prior to TPA, a non-contrast CT scan and glucose are the only required tests, and patients who are candidates for mechanical thrombectomy, urgent CT or MR angiogram is recommended, but this should not delay the treatment for IV TPA. And coming to tenecteplase might be considered as an alternative to TPA at 0.4 mg per kg as bolus. It is not been proven to be superior or non-inferior to alteplase. In patients with minor neurological impairment and no major intracranial occlusion. But this has been recently updated in 2019. It may be reasonable to choose tenecteplase, a single IV bolus of 0.25 mg per kg over alteplase in patients without contraindications for IV thrombolysis who are eligible to undergo mechanical thrombectomy. And this is a guidelines from Government of India. IV thrombolysis in 0 to 3 hours, IV tenecteplase or alteplase, and 3 to 4.5 hours, IV alteplase is recommended. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh, for explaining us clearly about the controversies between the tenecteplase and alteplase. Any questions? So as per the guidelines, one question from my side. So as per the guidelines, you told that there are a lot of trials. Initially, you told that there were head-to-head comparison and all, but the doses have been, initially you told 0.4 mg per kg is used, 0.25 mg is not efficacious, but the guidelines recommend it's finally the 0.4 mg per kg. Is there any specific selection criteria? And right now that the recent guidelines have showed it's got a significant role. Is there any selection criteria?
It is 0.4 mg per kg is an alternate to alteplase. Is an alternate to alteplase, but 0.25 milligram per dose is they have told it is better over alteplase. They have recommended, especially in patients who are planning to undergo mechanical thrombectomy. Based on the studies, NORTEST extend 1 year trial.
If there are no further questions, we will move on to the next talk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh.
Thank you.
This session, the next topic